going on YouTube? We have another product review coming at you from Mega Lures. A lot of you guys seen, I've done a review for Mega Lures before on a multi-jointed pike crankbait. I was blown away by Mega Lures' work. They really get into details with their airbrushing, their finishes, and just the base models, period. They really get into details. Not just that, the price points are phenomenal. Let's go ahead and jump into the specs before we jump into anything else on this. This is number 231. You're gonna see it says right there on the belly, model 231, produced 2018. So yes, this is one of the newest models that has just come out. This is the crappie color. It does not have a name, so I'm gonna call it the crappie crank. Very big crankbait, you guys, to catch those big trophy fish. We're looking at weight at roughly 3 ounces, and that is with my hardware on there. Yes, I use heavy hardware, big hooks, big split rigs for those big striped bass. We're looking at roughly 6 inches on the bill. You're looking at 1.5 inches by 3/4, and that's actually going from the front of the crankbait to the bill. What I advise to throw this on, you can actually throw it on light line. You don't have to worry about going with those big heavy setups for the fact that it's only roughly 3 ounces. That's not very heavy at all. So you can throw this with any kind of mono, say from 12 pound to 15 up to 30 pound mono. I personally throw heavy line always on my big swim bait setups or big crankbait setups or anything in that nature. So 25 to 30 pound mono is what I throw this on, but you can throw it on 12 to 15 pound comfortably. If you use braid, I would probably go between 20 to 30 pound braid, maybe even up to 40. But as stated, it's very light and it's only 3 ounces, so you do not have to worry about it being too heavy or having to switch out your setups to a bigger setup in order to throw this. The price range is crazy, you guys. $35 is on point for this, and I have to tell you guys, a lot of us who go out and buy these big crankbaits, big swim baits, or anything in that nature, we end up spending hundreds of dollars. And when you go with Mega Lures, you can actually spend, you know, $100 and get a couple of these. It's not a matter of spending $100 and only getting one. So $35 a pop is mind-blowing, and especially for the work that they do. The epoxy finish on these is mind-blowing. They really get in depth with the epoxy finish. As you guys can see, the epoxy is just solid, you guys, real solid. I'm wanting to say there's multi-coats of epoxy on this to where even hook rash is not going to get into the paint or even get that deep. Or if you're fishing for those teethy critters, you don't have to worry about them scratching the paint off or getting down to the wood. Check out the finish on this thing. As stated, the epoxy is phenomenal. You guys can see the epoxy going over the eyes, the epoxy around the bill. Very solid bait. Another thing that I really like is the airbrushing. They really get into detail with their airbrushing. As you guys can see, it's very solid airbrushing. They really get solidly into the detailing of the airbrushing around the gills, on, you know, the fins, everything, you name it, it's solid. And one thing I really like about Mega Lures is they get that crackle look in their airbrushing. So it's kind of like the paint is like cracked, it looks like, if you guys can get a close-up on that. I'm not sure if it's going to zoom in or not for you guys. There we go. So you can see the paintbrush has like a crackle look into it, and that adds a lot of detailing into it. So very phenomenal, you guys. I will be throwing this out on the lake. Here recently I threw it with the water wolf on the river. I didn't get very great footage for the fact that the river was very weedy, and so I got very short footage of its action. And this thing has a phenomenal wobble to it. It gives you a really good wobble, which those big fish really like. But as stated, I will be throwing this on the lake for sure, targeting those big striped bass, those big largemouth bass and smallmouth bass. And this will make a very nice trolling bait as well, just for the fact that I noticed when it was in the current, it was giving that, you know, that wobble, which a lot of us who troll like to use these type of baits for that nature. So $35 a pop, you guys. Mega Lures, I'm telling you, you guys really get into details and the price points are very phenomenal. You really can't beat them, especially for big baits like this. I mean, we're looking at a 6-inch crankbait, and any other 6-inch crankbait that you look up online, you're looking at about anywhere from $70 to $80 to even $100. And this thing is just, it's on point. You can't go wrong with it. From hook to hook, you're looking at 4 inches in between. So from here to here, there's 4 inches gap. So you can use those big split rings as you see, which I use, and you do not have to worry about your hooks hooking into each other because there is a decent distance between the hook eyes. So you guys can see there, 4 inches in between each hook eye, which will allow you could, even if you wanted to, you can double up your split rings, which a lot of people like to do just in case you get those short strikers or followers. So you can add an extra split ring on there and you'll still have a decent distance without being able to hook up your hooks together. So there you guys got it. I'll be leaving all the links down below in the description. Make sure you guys check out Mega Lures. I'll be leaving all of their social media pages as well down in the description, along with price points and basically all the information about this crank. And as I stated, you guys, I'm calling this the crappie crank. It's phenomenal. It's awesome. So much love and respects. Enjoy the footage, and I am up and out. Peace.